What's up, YouTube? Today I have a deck that took me to infinite this season. It got me through the rest of the 90s after I took my Darkhawk Ronin deck most of the way there to 93. I stalled out a bit, and from 95 to 100 I went back to my old favorite deck. This is my Miss Marvel, Mr. Fantastic, Moonstone combo deck. I call it For Everlasting Arms. It is very well positioned in this current metagame, so I wanted to bring it back, go over some of the differences and why I think it's very strong right now. Basically, any deck like Hela that does not run interaction, some discard, which basically only has Gambit that disrupts this deck, anytime you hit the combo, you win the game. If you're playing a deck with disruption, like when Red Guardian was meta, this deck is much more fragile, especially when Scream was meta, and lately those decks I have not seen a lot. Agamotto being one of the most premier and most seen decks. I think it's played in over 50% of decks in High Infinite. Agamotto is a matchup that you can win with this deck. You just need to watch out for Winds of Watun. But I'll get into that as we get into some of the gameplay. I'm sure that we'll face some Agamotto decks. We're playing it in top 1000 Infinite, top 1000 to 2000. I think I'm at 1286 before starting the gameplay here, but let's go over card by card and see what's going on. So in this deck, your basic idea is to get the combo going, which is going to be, when you get everything assembled, Moonstone in the middle, then Magic at some point to get to turn 7 on one of the left or right lanes, and then you're going to play down Onslaught on turn 6, Mystique on turn 7, followed by Mr. Fantastic or Miss Marvel, whatever you've set up for, and that's going to get you over 100 points on either lane if you play the Mr. Fantastic route. Because of that, we're going to want to play a couple 1-drops, a couple 2-drops, and then down the line just so we have stuff ready for Miss Marvel if we need it, and we start with Spider-Ham. I play Spider-Ham in a lot of decks just because a little added extra bit of disruption can help you win games that you don't have any business winning otherwise. You could play any 1-drop here, really, that you like, but I do like Spider-Ham for that extra cube equity. Howard the Duck, I've said before, just a perfect deck for Howard the Duck. This one does have Gold Crackle, but the Visual Flare bug right now is stopping that from showing up. But Howard is great with Iron Lad and helps you know whether you're going to get the combo later in the game. And if you don't, you can retreat. Saves you cubes that way, and you don't have to think about like what could have been. Adam Warlock is the addition to this deck from the last time I featured it on a YouTube video. Used to play Jeff in this slot. Adam Warlock is so good because if it draws you one card, it's done its job. You're one card closer to the combo, and it is not always going to happen, but turn 1, Spider-Ham or Howard, turn 2, Adam Warlock. Sometimes they just don't play in that lane. You get a free card draw. It's done its job, and you're much more likely to hit your combo. It doesn't hit, that's fine. You still get a 2-drop down for Miss Marvel, or, you know, maybe later in the game they won't be able to play there, and it will draw you that card then. It's always a threat. It draws Red Guardian targets. It draws Lady Deathstrike, just draws them playing in the lanes, cards that you don't want played into the middle. It's just such a good card in this deck for the consistency of the combo. Ravonna is here for discounting Iron Man and Mystique in the event that you don't see your combo. You can still win some games with Ravonna. Also enables you to, on turn 7, play out Mystique and Mr. Fantastic, or Mystique and Miss Marvel, and also play a 1 if you still need it for a side lane. Just a 2-drop, what you need, and a couple extra ticks of cost reduction that can help you throughout the course of the game. Mystique, you need it for the combo, but also great at copying Iron Man in other situations, and there's a lot of ongoing in this deck, so Mystique is very versatile, but for the most part, one of your core combo pieces. Mr. Fantastic, again, really great. This deck used to just be a Miss Marvel deck. Mr. Fantastic came along and made it so that, first of all, your high end is even higher, because with Moonstone, you're going to get a higher bump with Mr. Fantastic. And also, just sometimes Miss Marvel is disrupted, so you need that Mr. Fantastic consistent power on either side. You don't have to, if there's a lane blocked off, like Sanctum Sanctorum, Mr. Fantastic can just win you that lane. Magic, turn 7 is unfortunately necessary with this deck. In a meta where there's location disruption, that can be a liability, but Magic is, you just need it. It's what helps you get to turn 7, which you need for the combo to go off. Miss Marvel, like I said, part of the combo, not as necessary now. It's basically just a redundancy because Mr. Fantastic is the more consistent power and the higher end power. If you play out the combo as noted, Moonstone on turn 4, Onslaught on turn 6, Mystique, and then Miss Marvel on turn 7, instead of getting 100 points to either side lane, you'll get 90 points. Or if your middle gets clogged with a card, sometimes that happens and you can't play Moonstone, just Onslaught, Mystique, and Miss Marvel with correct, power on either side will get you plus 30 points to those side lanes, plus whatever you have in there. Still could be enough to win a lot of games if you're not going against something like Hela. Iron Lad helps you dig deeper for the combo, works with Howard the Duck. Mostly everything in this deck other than the core combo pieces are just a way to get you to the combo, and that's what Iron Lad does. Moonstone allows you to get up to 90 or 100 on either side lane. Also, if you are in a pinch or it gets knocked over into a Ravona lane, that gets you double discounts from Ravona. Iron Man draws Red Guardian targets, draws early Enchantress targets. That's the main use of it. Otherwise, it's just basically doubling your side lanes or going crazy in the middle with an Onslaught, Mystique, Miss Marvel that will give you a crazy huge middle lane going super tall while still getting 30 plus on the side lanes. And sometimes when you don't see the combo, you can just play out Iron Man and then Mystique on a side lane and get something in the middle and still get a little bit of extra power. Onslaught, last card, just one of the pieces of the combo, and obviously ongoing doubling is good in an ongoing deck. So that is the deck. I'm going to get into some games, explain to you during the games why I think this deck is super well positioned, and we'll go over all the decisions that we have to make. So thanks for watching. Here's some gameplay, and then I'll wrap it up at the end. Quantum Tunnel, I don't want to play into. I don't want to get a combo piece out early. Juggernaut's not a good sign, but at least it's wasted here for them. If it's a Scream deck, I'm definitely facing an uphill battle. Next turn, we see Iron Man. I'll usually try to just steal a draw here with Adam. Baxter Building stops that, but that's okay. We don't want Strange Academy going off, so I am going to Magic that. Next turn we see Moonstone, which is great. Zabu again, I got back. Crossbones. Okay, so this looks like basically a good stuff deck. Surtur. Starbrand possibly. So Enchantress is a possible card to watch out for. Wow, we actually got an Adam Warlock draw off. Onslaught next turn. So we're a Mr. Fantastic away from full combo. Just going to develop Moonstone here. There's Surtur. But I do take over Baxter Building, which gets me closer. So there's the full combo, but now we're just worried about what disruption this deck runs. I think I would like to just clog up the right lane. Or would it be better to get out a Spider-Ham or Miss Marvel guaranteed on the left? That might be better. Since our next few turns are taken up by Onslaught, Mystique, and Mr. Fantastic. Let's see. Probably going to take out our Moonstone somehow here. Spider Ham hits. Armor, okay. Gamora. Definitely an interesting starter deck. I haven't seen this version of it yet with Gamora. I am worried about Cosmo, but we'll give this a shot. Miss Marvel coming next turn. All right. Don't think I want to snap this one. Too worried about armor being, or Cosmo being in this deck. But we will try for the combo. They could play Eliath as well, but unlikely now that it's not a 10-drop. Enchantress is possible. Oh, just Starbrand. Nice. So this deck just completely outpowers any deck playing a plan that doesn't play Disruption. So armor being their only disruption that we saw does not help. So we love seeing like a high-end mid-range deck, a Hela deck, something that's got a linear game plan without much disruption. Normal size deck. So this is Hela. Ugh. Of course, when I can show Hela, Savage Land ruins the middle lane. I still have a shot because of Sinister London. I can play out a bunch of doubling stuff and see what happens. Should have played Ravonna in the middle so I can turn 2 of my lanes into Iron Man Onslaught lanes. That was a mistake. Moonstone's fine. Okay, so this turn I want a Magic here, I want a Mr. Fantastic here. That will mean that hopefully next turn I can Iron Man left, get an Iron Man here, and then Onslaught left. Okay. Lost our Mystique play, but we still have Iron Man, or Onslaught Iron Man possible. Okay. So this gives us a chance. Virtually. Okay, we just drew Iron Man. I think that's enough to win. It's going to be 14, 20, 40, 80 on the left, and then got Mr. Fantastic working too. I'm probably just going to retreat. We'll boomer snap him. Hela can get overconfident. They've discarded Black Cat, Iron Man Scar, Swordmaster. Yeah. Alright, we'll take that. Who needs the crazy combo? We just need Sinister London. Alright, Agamotto deck. We've got no turn 1 play anyway, and we're going to be ignoring the left lane for Windsor Tomb protection. Hopefully this isn't the Clog-Amoto deck that I've seen a lot. We don't like Clog. While I like having Howard down early in the game, in this case I want to make sure I play my mana efficiently, energy, in case I need to play Howard down on a turn 6 or 7. I don't want to play Mr. Fantastic or Mystique here. Sometimes I'll chance that in the middle, but not against an Agamotto deck because it wins with Tomb. Comes Magic. Again, I can't Magic left like I normally might. I can't Moonstone middle right now. Wins really messes up a game plan. So we'll just get Magic down on the Great Portal. Yeah, you're definitely winning the left lane. Okay. So I didn't want to play Moonstone middle, but now I can because I can clog the right and prevent Winds from moving Moonstone out of there. Have an Iron Man next turn, and no Iron Lad, which means we're not going to hit full combo. So probably going to have to retreat. The thing about a combo deck, sometimes your combo just gets buried. Even with your Iron Lad and card draw, even next turn wouldn't have been the combo. Adam Warlock there. Valkyrie that actually increases my power. So I wonder if they'll... Is there any chance they think that I don't have a way to add to this right lane and they just lowball it into there? Unlikely. But it's infinite. Let's just go for it. Wow. Okay. That's a bonkers win. Gonna see if we can get below into the top 1,000, get on the leaderboard for the first time. Alright, regular deck. No Winds of Watum. Spider-Ham next turn. Okay, so now Vibranium Mines means we cannot play in the right anymore. So we draw our combo pieces. Although we do have everything but Mystique in hand, and Magic. Magic and Mystique. Ironheart. I'm assuming that means Mr. Negative with Cassandra Nova and Ironheart. And not a typical Mr. Negative. So Magic's coming. I could Iron Lad into Magic, but I don't want to waste the Iron Lad, so we can possibly dig into Mystique. Just play out Moonstone. Then we Magic next turn. Definitely Mr. Negative. That didn't draw its negative. Ravona, which means I don't think we can snap. One thing about this deck, like I said, it's very good against Hela or things with fixed output. Mr. Negative typically does not run interaction. They just count on themselves going way higher than you. And this deck goes higher than Mr. Negative, unless they happen to be running something like Living Tribunal. Miss Marvel. We're still going to stick with this because we have a 50-50 chance to Iron Lad into Mystique. It's not going to give us 100 on each lane, but they didn't hit Mr. Negative, so I think it could still be enough. Because the Iron Lad won't be 3 cost, Moonstone won't multiply it, which is why we don't hit 100 going that route. I do like the Mystique with the Black Prism. I'm going to have to get mine kitted that way soon. Unfortunate. The Mystique's buried on the bottom. Alright, we just eked it out. Close one. Agamotto, Castle Zemo. This is probably Clog. You hate to see it. Naked Atom, that's not going to draw anything. Definitely Clog. This will be a retreat as soon as something bad happens. Just coming. Wow, we'll actually draw a card from Adam. I'm anticipating a clog element in the middle. No, not yet. So I'm just trying to set up for the small combo, since there might be a spot taken up there. Something like Spider Ham Magic, I think I like better to give them the Spider Ham. A little clog on their own end. Okay, well, nice they didn't draw Acid Arrow with Hawkeye. Got the Annihilus killed. Alright, so now we can afford one spot to be taken up on the middle. And if they Green Goblin left, that does hurt Miss Marvel, but we'll see. They'll probably do that this turn. I still have Winds also. Forgot about Winds of Watum. All this is lining up to tell me it's probably safer to go Mystique into Mr. Fantastic. It's not as much power, but might be enough in this low to the ground clog deck. They've already played Images, which caps their power output. Wow, Shuri into Cersei. Tarkok. And Dagger. They're clogged on the left. They can't wind us there. They can wind us in the middle, which would draw Onslaught over. We can Mystique. Winds in the middle really messes us up. Because I would love to just Mystique and Miss Marvel. But we lose the Winds of Watum. Maybe they just didn't draw it. Green Goblin in the middle, we still win. Green Goblin on the right, we still win. Hey, Winds of Watum, we lose. That is what it is. If I could have clogged the right, I would have won. I'm in for 2. Let's see it. Okay, no Winds of Watum. We take it. Okay, another 12 card deck, which we like. Go Howard early. It's usually better to save Spider-Ham if you have both options, because they'll hold better cards in their hand till later in the game, like a Hela or Magneto. Oh, they're gonna get our Mystique. Oh. Not good. Quinjet Galacta, so a Loki deck or something? Let's just try to draw. Yeah, looks like Loki. just gonna Spider Ham. I don't want to mess up Miss Marvel by playing out the Quinjet. Okay. Iron Man. I was gonna Magic, but Iron Lad and Iron Man's just too good. Okay, so they got our Ravonna and our Mystique. I'm just gonna Magic here. Mr. Fantastic, last card in deck. Isan. Is that from the Valentina? It's a bad hit for them. Onslaught? They get our Iron Man. Hopefully Isan doesn't pull Iron Man. Ugh. Okay. So at least Miss Marvel would win the right. I don't have Mystique. Does Miss Marvel? Quinjet? No, Quinjet turns it off. Miss Marvel, Mr. Fantastic gives us 14 over here. It's probably not enough. 13 is probably not enough to win the middle. So does Mr. Fantastic middle win right still? That's 6. That's only 42. What about Moonstone, Mr. Fantastic? That's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12. Doubled, that would win. Wow. Just a blank null. Okay. Close one. Not Agamotto, but do we want to develop in Brooklyn Bridge? Maybe. Just in case we have to go the Miss Marvel route. Nowhere. That turns off the large combo. But there's still some smaller ones that are okay. I would not like the Bifrost to go off, please. Iron Man on the bottom of our deck. Not perfect. Onslaught. Oh. I guess it's nice it didn't die, but we don't want it over there. Iron Man's probably our only chance of winning now. And it's on the bottom of our deck. It's nowhere messing up our plans. Something like this. Bona. Let's make sure it's Mr. Fantastic second, just in case we want to mystique it for some reason. Okay, so they drew our Ravona. Fenris. Okay. Alright. Nothing left in deck. Iron Man. Let's go. Spider-Ham. Iron Man. Next turn, Mystique and Miss Marvel. It's a decent amount of power. Not enough, probably. Do I ever Mystique over here? That would be adding 5 more. No, it won't, because it will double it, but only to 18, because the magic turns off Miss Marvel. So we do it over here. Okay. Excellent. Wow. First time in the top 1,000 on the leaderboard. That's pretty exciting. Alright, so just to wrap things up, we got into the top 1,000 for the first time ever. Went on a crazy run. Putting the stats on the screen now. We went 13-4 over our last 17 games, a 76% win rate, plus 19 cubes, and a 1.12 average cubes per game. This deck was super good into this current meta. One thing you need to realize and you need to understand is that this deck is susceptible to some very certain things. In this meta right now, Hela decks that just try to put out a ton of points like Mr. Negative, this deck feasts on those, because if you see your combo, even sometimes if you don't, you just have enough power to go above that. However, if Red Guardian's being played, if Enchantress is being played, which it's seeing an uptick because of Starbrand, if Scream decks and things that move your cards around, Magneto, Arrow, if any of those are being played with a ton of regularity, this deck does not perform. That's just the way it is. In this current meta though, with Hela, until maybe this OTA changes things, and we'll see what happens there, it is a very powerful deck. I hope you try it out. I hope you have success like I happen to, and yeah, let me know what you think. If you can, subscribe to the channel. I'll have more videos for you. Leave a like, a comment, anything you can do helps out. Just trying to grow the channel a little bit. We're very close to 200 subscribers. Love to be able to get that even higher if possible, just to show some fun decks and some good gameplay, and even some competitive gameplay sometimes. We're in the top 1,000 now. We'll see how long we stay there, but it's early in the season, but it's still cool to see that number below 1,000 and to see my name on the leaderboard soon. So thanks for watching, and later.